Let's head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
Yeah, hi, this is Ron from Cleveland. I was just wondering if anybody had ever thought of maybe a position change for one of our players. And it all stems from John Johnson not being the player that we actually thought he would be. He seems to be pretty good talking, but when it comes to sticking his head in there and stopping people, he seems kind of hesitant to me, and he doesn't really follow people well in coverage. And the player change, I was wondering, has anybody ever thought of maybe Owusu-Koramoah going to safety? He's very fast, has a real knack for knowing where somebody's going to be going and following the ball. I think he'd be a good defensive back and just a powerful asset in the run-stop game from the safety position. Of course, I'm no GM or anything like that, but, I was just thinking about it, and I'd like to know what you guys think about that. As always, love your show. Cleveland Browns forever. Woof.
As always, appreciate all the voicemails. G. Bush, I'm not so sure about that. It's an interesting point. Owusu-Koramoah, some people think he kind of fell to where he did in the draft because he was kind of considered a tweener between linebacker and safety. I think if you put good defensive linemen, good defensive tackles in front of him, he's a much more effective linebacker.
Yeah, see, there's a thing. I'll give you a quick story. When I was getting recruited, I was in that size where I was like 257. And they were like, wow, man, this guy, he is agile. He can move around. Man, let's try him out at outside linebacker. And I went to camps around. I went to Michigan, Ohio State camp. And, they have fun, standing you up and trying to do these drills. And my dad was just like, blatantly was like, no, you're not an outside linebacker. Stop it. And I was like, what you mean? And then I felt like I really, really figured out why I'm not an outside linebacker, because they put me outside linebacker in these camps, and these running backs was running right by me. I didn't know where I was at. I was confused. Like, the thing about depth perception is this. Playing in space is not easy. Just ask a center fielder how much ground he has to cover when the ball's hitting the gap. I mean, you have to know where the ball is hit off the sound of the bat, right? And if you a second step late, you're out of here. You're done. And it's the same thing with outside linebacker and moving positions. Now you're talking about him playing safety. He's never played safety. He played linebacker or some sort of bandit role at Notre Dame. But now he has to play center field. Now he has to learn, quarterbacks are going to read your movement. Then he has to play cover. You have to cover hash to hash. Sometimes you got to cover one whole third of the field if you're playing cover three. It's different. You have to have quick twitch hips. You got to have to be able to turn, run. You got to be able to not make false steps. You got to be able to come down in the run support as well. John Johnson may not be what we thought he was, but I will guarantee you this. John Johnson is exponentially a better safety than JOK. And that I'm sure of.